Konnichiwa! In today's show, we're going to be checking out a Sega Genesis and Mega Drive game that was thought to be lost, but it's just cropped up on Kickstarter. We're going to be covering all the details of the Kickstarter and this lost Sega game. My name's Mike, and this is the Retro Gamer Boy Show. So right now on Kickstarter there's a campaign for a digital comic and physical comic book called Cybernauts: The New Breed. Now this is actually a comic book based on a video game, Cybernauts: The New Breed, for the Genesis and Mega Drive, and it was due out in 1994 by Accolade. But for some reason the game didn't make it, it got cancelled, and there were very few articles written about this game, so very little was known about the actual game itself. But a company called Pico Interactive, who specialise in finding lost or cancelled Sega Genesis games, reworking them and bringing them back as physical cartridges, has found an alpha ROM of the game and are including it with the Kickstarter. Now Cybernauts: The New Breed was a fighting game and was due to release in 1994. Now, much like Killer Instincts, its visual style was rendered on a Silicon graphics machine, giving it that kind of pseudo 3D look. Now, the game's narrative focuses on genetically enhanced human beings, essentially turning them into superheroes. And these superheroes are trained by a government organization, and they're called Matrix Alpha. So very 90s that. And of course they have their equally genetically enhanced supervillains that they have to battle against. Now whilst the Kickstarter is primarily focused around the comic book, you can get hold of the Alpha ROM as part of one of the tiers of the Kickstarter. And in fact it's only the second tier where you can not only get the actual Alpha ROM, but you can get the original Genesis and Mega Drive soundtrack as well. Now the first tier I think is $1 and the second tier is $5, which is £4. So if you back this project at the second tier, so that's $5, you have the chance of getting yourself the actual alpha ROM of the game, which is something I'm definitely going to do. I'd love to own this piece of retro gaming history. Now at the recording of this video, the campaign is about quarter funded and they're about halfway through their Kickstarter. So there's still plenty of time to jump on board and try get yourself a copy of this alpha build of Cybernauts, a game cancelled in 1994.
In 1997, VirtualComics.com was an alternative outlet for the digital distribution of comic books, in which the readers would enjoy awe-inspiring stories and remarkable characters straight from their personal computer on the same day that they were published. But there was a slight drawback. The world was not ready for VirtualComics.com. The internet was far away from being an accessible technology for the majority of households, and the consumers still ignored all of its full potential. 24 years have passed, and the world now flows thanks to the internet engrossing our daily lives. Nowadays, it's common for comic book fans to read the adventures of their favorite superheroes through their personal computers or smart devices. VirtualComics.com is back, and we are ready to once again revolutionize the way to distribute comic books. Our first project merges comic books with video games in Cybernauts: The New Breed, which was a cancelled fighting game that would be released on the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. Now, you can be part of its historic return. Cybernauts takes place in a futuristic world where many can become a superhero after a special software is installed directly into their brains, granting them with genetically enhanced superpowers. But a rogue organization known as Overlord has stolen this genetically engineered software, threatening the world with new supervillains. This is how Matrix Alpha is born. They're an elite squadron of superheroes trained by the government to stop this global threat. The adventure will finally begin after 25 years. Depending on the tier that you choose, you can enjoy the comic book version of Cybernauts that you prefer. Whether you want its digital or physical versions, or both versions together, including the original game soundtrack as a special edition goodie. But that's not all. The backers will have the opportunity to download the prototype of the game that was thought to be lost and that was supposed to come out in 1994. And there's still more. With your support, we could reach additional tiers, including the motion comic, future installments of the comic, a new game, or an action figure. For further information, check out our Kickstarter campaign.
So there's just a quick look at just another cancelled game that has been found out in the wild. I'd love for a company like Pico Interactive to take the game and rebuild it again based on the original foundations of the game and release it for our Sega Genesis and Mega Drive. So fingers crossed they hit all those tiers and maybe we can get a physical release of this game. If you love the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive or just love retro gaming, then why not consider subscribing by clicking on a little button just below this video. We put up brand new videos every single Monday, and if you never want to miss an episode, you can click on another little icon just below this video. But if you can't wait until Monday, don't worry, we've got you covered with a huge back catalogue of retro gaming videos, 2 of which you can watch over here.